Japan is one of the most advanced countries on Earth. High-speed bullet trains, neon megacities, robotic factories. But here's the strange part. If you look at a map of Japan from space, most of it looks empty. No cities, no lights, no people. So how can a country with over 120 million people feel deserted? And why do nearly 80 million Japanese live crammed into a thin strip of land, while the rest of the country remains eerily quiet? Tonight we're uncovering one of the strangest population mysteries on Earth. Japan is the 11th most populous country in the world. It's home to more people than Germany, more people than the UK, more people than France, and yet 90% of its land barely has anyone living on it. How does that even make sense? To understand this, we need to zoom out. Way out. When geographers map where people actually live in Japan, something shocking appears. Not clusters, not circles, but a long glowing line, a narrow corridor stretching 1,200 kilometers across southern and eastern Japan. Along this line lie the country's biggest cities: Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Fukuoka. Together, nearly 2/3 of Japan's population lives here. This is the Taiheiyō belt, Japan's human spine. Let's put this into perspective. About 80 million people live on less than 10% of Japan's land. The remaining 40+ million people are spread across the other 90%. That means the Taiheiyō belt is nearly 17 times more crowded than the rest of the country. In fact, this strip of Japan is denser than Vatican City. So why does everyone crowd here? The answer begins with the land itself. Japan looks small on a map, but on the ground, it's brutal. About 73% of Japan is mountainous. Not rolling hills, not gentle slopes. We're talking steep, forested, earthquake-prone mountains. Mountains that are hard to build on, hard to farm, hard to connect with roads, and incredibly expensive to develop. For thousands of years, humans avoided them. That leaves only about 1/4 of Japan that's flat enough for cities, and even that flat land is scattered in pieces. But 3 pieces stand out, 3 massive plains that would shape Japan's destiny forever. First, the Kanto Plain, home to Tokyo, the largest flat area in Japan. Second, the Kenai Plain, Osaka, Kyoto, Kobe, Japan's historic heart. Third, the Nobi Plain, Nagoya, an industrial powerhouse. These plains weren't just flat, they had rivers, fertile soil, and space to grow. Naturally, people gathered here. In ancient Japan, rice wasn't just food, it was wealth, power. Survival, rice needs flat, flooded land. So wherever rice grew best, people stayed. Over centuries, villages became towns. Towns became cities, and cities became magnets. But here's where things get interesting. Japan has 2 coastlines. The Pacific side, the Sea of Japan side, and they are not equal. The Pacific side was blessed with something rare. Imagine being a sailor centuries ago. Where would you dock? The Pacific coast of Japan is jagged and broken, forming deep bays, sheltered ports, calm anchorages, Tokyo Bay, Osaka Bay, IC Bay. These weren't just good harbors, they were world-class. A good harbor means trade. Trade means money. Money means people. Tokyo Bay alone now handles hundreds of millions of tons of cargo every year, comparable to entire countries, and all of it feeds directly into those flat plains behind it. Now compare that to the Sea of Japan side. The coastline there is smoother, fewer bays, shallower ports, and fewer plains behind them. Less trade, less growth, less reason to stay. But Japan had another secret weapon, a hidden highway of water. The Seto Inland Sea. This massive, calm sea sits between Japan's main islands, protected from storms, easy to navigate, filled with hundreds of islands. In a country where rivers are too steep for boats, this sea became Japan's lifeline. Before highways, before railways, before cars, goods moved by water, and the Seto Inland Sea connected Osaka, Hiroshima, Kyoto. Western Japan, it was Japan's ancient economic engine. For centuries, Osaka was Japan's richest city. Merchants, markets. Money. Even Japan's early banking system grew here. Population followed wealth, and wealth followed water. Geography explained where people could live. History explains why they stayed. In the early 1600s, Japan unified under the Tokugawa shogunate, and the shogun made a bold decision. The shogun moved his power base away from Kyoto to a quiet fishing town called Edo. Today, we call it Tokyo. At the time, no one imagined what this would become. The shoguns introduced a policy called Sankin Kotai. Every feudal lord had to live part-time in Edo, travel there regularly, build expensive mansions. Thousands moved, servants followed, markets exploded. To support this travel, Japan built roads, inns, shops, rest towns. And guess where the busiest road ran? Straight along today's Taiheiyō belt, locking the population pattern in place. But geography and history aren't enough. Climate had the final say. Japan sits where warm and cold ocean currents collide. From the south flows the Kuroshio Current. Warm, moist. Life-giving. It keeps. Tokyo. Osaka. Southern Japan, mild in winter and productive year-round. From the north comes the Oyashio Current. Cold Doan, harsh, unforgiving. When icy Siberian air meets this current, something extreme happens. The Sea of Japan's side becomes buried in snow. Not inches, not feet, but meters. Some towns receive 26 feet of snow every winter. Roofs collapse, roads vanish, life slows. Snow means expensive buildings, special roads, constant maintenance. Why struggle there when the Pacific side is warmer, flatter, and richer? People chose comfort. Japan's northern island, Hokkaido, faces harsh winters, short growing seasons. Despite its size, it never attracted massive population. Nature drew the line. But the Taiheiyō belt has a dark side. It sits on fault lines, earthquake zones, tsunami paths. The most dangerous place became the most populated. Why? Because survival demanded it. Earthquakes were rare. Trade was constant. Over centuries, the benefits outweighed the danger, again and again. Even today, bullet trains follow the same corridor. Factories, universities, jobs, all concentrated in the belt. Once a pattern forms, it's almost impossible to break. So is 90% of Japan really empty? No, it's forests, mountains, snowfields, villages aging quietly. Japan isn't empty, it's selective. Japan's population map is not a mistake. It's a survival blueprint carved by mountains, water, climate, history. Every city is exactly where it makes sense to be. So the next time you see Tokyo glowing from space, remember, that light exists because the rest of Japan had no choice. Nature decided first. Humans followed. If geography controls destiny, how many other countries are living in patterns they never chose? And which one should we explore next? Because sometimes the real mystery isn't what's crowded. It's what was never meant to be.